from Plans Meet Paper, and today I am finally going to show you guys how I make these dividers that I keep in my Filofax. I have them in both personal size and A5 size, and the steps that I'm going to show you today will work for either size that you want to create. So I've had a ton of people on YouTube and on Etsy ask me where I got these dividers or how I made them. And today I am going to answer both of those questions for you guys. So I hope you like this video. So these ones are obviously already created, but I'm going to remake them. And I've had these dividers for about, let's see, a year and a half. I got them in the summer of 2016. So they're super sturdy, they last super well. You can keep them in either this orientation or with the orange on top, either way. I have been keeping them with this orientation where the gray is on top. And one thing you'll notice is that the two different sides of these dividers, they're a different material. This one is much smoother, but it also picks up smudges easier. And then this side is a little bit less smooth and more shiny, and it does not pick up smudges. So this time around, I think I'm going to keep them more in this orientation because you'll see the smudges less. But either way totally works. And I'm getting sidetracked, so I'll get back to the point. Basically, these dividers come from Staples, and I'll show you what they look like when you originally buy them. They do not come in 6-hole binder style. They come in one of two ways. They either come in as a disc-bound system divider set or as a 3-ring binder letter size divider set. So you can purchase either of those depending on what size tabs that you want. I personally, for the personal size binder, which is this little guy, really like the small tabs. So if you want the small tabs, this is the set that you'll want to buy. It is the Office by Martha Stewart disc-bound notebook divider set, and it comes with 8 tabs. There are no stickers for the tabs. They're designed for the write and erase style. I have never actually written on the tabs, so I'm not sure how well that works, but if you want to try it, go for it. I will say that these are now available. These Martha Stewart dividers are available at Staples, and also they are now available on Amazon as well. I will put the link for Amazon down below, and if I can find it, I'll put it for Staples down below as well. I will say right now I've got it up on my computer right next to me. On Amazon, these exact dividers are selling for $14.99, and I just purchased these at Staples today. And at Staples, let me pull up my receipt. At Staples, I got them for $2.99 in store. There was a discount for a promotion, so they're normally $3.99. Either way, much better deal to get them in store at Staples, at least with the current price on Amazon. So that's what the packaging looks like. And when you take them out of the packaging, they look like this. They are half letter size. So the dimensions is 8.5 by 5.5 inches. And clearly that is much, much too large for a personal size binder. This actually would be very close to the size for an A5 size binder, but once you cut off the disc-bound punches, it's going to be too short. So if you want to make these for A5 size, what you're going to want to do is actually buy the letter size divider, so a full US letter size, and then trim it down just like I'm going to do with these. That way you can actually make sure they have enough width to get all the way across the binder. So for personal size, what I'm going to do is kind of walk you through all the steps. And like I said, these dividers have 2 different sides. They've got a shiny side and a matte side. So I'm going to use the shiny side as my top this time around. So it doesn't matter which one you want to start with. Since I'm going to use the shiny side up, I'm going to do it like this and start with the orange on top. Now what you want to do is go ahead and get any divider that you have. This is just a Filofax divider that comes with the Filofax when you buy it, or if you have a set of dividers that you've made previously, you can use that as well. Any personal size divider, and then you just line it up with your half letter size dividers and trace along the outside. And you want to do that for all 8 of these dividers. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started, but one thing I do want to point out is I would highly recommend line it up with either the top or the bottom of the page, because that way you'll have a lot less trimming, and also that way you're sure that you're not going to end up with a divider that's too short. So if I tried to make this tab completely up at the top of the Filofax, you'll see the bottom ends up too short. So always line up the divider right along the edges, either on the bottom or on the top, whichever way that you would like to do it. So I'm going to go from the bottom and I'm going to trace all the way around, and I'm going to do that for, let's see which ones fit on the divider. So I'm going to do that for orange, yellow, green, blue, white, and gray. I'm just going to keep it in this exact orientation along the bottom of the page, the bottom of the dividers, and I'm just going to trace with a pencil. And then when I'm done with that, I will pause and show you what I'm going to do next. One other little note is you may want to consider tracing on the back of the side that you plan on keeping face up. That way you don't have to worry about getting any smudges on the front of your dividers. So I've got my first 6 dividers traced out, and now what you're going to notice is that if I keep going on the bottom of the page here, the tabs aren't on there at all. They're up at the top. So what I do for that is I just go ahead and scooch to the top of the page instead, and just do the same thing, trace along the outside of the divider, just aligning it with the top this time instead of the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And I'm tracing just on the back of each divider. That way I don't get any smudges on the front. All right, now that I have all 8 dividers traced out to the correct size, I'm going to trim along those pencil lines, and you can do that in one of 2 ways. If you have a paper trimmer, it's definitely the easiest way to go. This is just a sliding paper trimmer. I got this one at Walmart several years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, for I think $12. So you can get these really affordably, and they sell them at most department stores, Walmart, Target, that kind of thing, and also craft stores. So if you have one of those, use it. If you do not have one, you can use any regular pair of scissors and just cut carefully along the pencil line. so I've got all my dividers cut. And another little thing that I've done in the past with all these scraps is I'll use them to make page lifters, or not quite page lifters, but page markers. So you can trim off the extra pieces there that have the punches and repunch it and just use it as a little page lifter or a page marker, excuse me, I keep saying that wrong. Same thing with these. You can just punch the top 3 holes and use it as a page marker. And if you have the letter size dividers especially, then you get a lot of extra scrap plastic. So you can definitely repurpose that for something as well. So I just put this off to the side. And then you've got your dividers here. I'm just gonna align them so I can see how nice and pretty they look. So since we cut the first 6 dividers from the bottom, lining up the divider at the bottom, you can see that they don't line up exactly with the second 2. So if that bothers you, what you can do instead is just take those second 2 dividers and flip them over. And then they're gonna line up exactly with the bottom dividers at least, so you won't see them sticking out at the top. So you can do either, either put them up at the top or have them hidden underneath those bottom 2 dividers. So what you're gonna do now is go ahead and punch your holes. And again, there are 2 ways to do that. If you have a 6-hole punch like this, then it's very easy. You just line it up in the middle of the punch and punch it, and you've got your 6 holes. If you do not have a 6-hole punch, then you are going to want to take your Filofax divider or any personal size divider that you have, line it up on top, and trace out the holes, the 6 holes, and then use a single hole punch to punch out those 6 holes. And either method works perfect, just the same. Of course, the single hole punch is a little bit more time consuming, so that's just something you'll want to decide whether or not you want to invest in a 6-hole punch or not. I used a single hole punch for several years before I invested in a 6-hole punch, so definitely don't worry. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of new things. This works just fine. I will say that this 6-hole punch, I do not regret buying it at all. It's been super, super handy, especially because I do print my own inserts. And I got this from Michael's about a year ago. It was originally, I believe, $25 or $30. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact price, but I know that you can always get either 40 or 50% off coupons from Michael's if you wait a few weeks and watch the sales. So definitely don't buy it for full price, because you can get a coupon if you wait a few weeks, and then you'll have a 6-hole punch. So that's just another option. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the 6-hole punch, just line these up in the middle and punch my holes right along the back side of the dividers. That is it. That's how you make these scalloped edge dividers, and it's really easy. And like I said, they're super sturdy. They're made out of plastic, so they don't bend or get torn or anything like that. So I highly recommend them. A couple other things you can do if you want to. You can round the edges, which you can see I've done on this first set of dividers that I made. I'm actually not going to round them on this set. I kind of go back and forth whether I prefer sharp edges or rounded edges, and right now I'm in the sharp edges phase, so I'm going to stick with that. And then, like I said, you can also decide whether you want the orange side up or the gray side up, just depending on what type of finish, whether you want the matte finish or the shiny finish on top. So those are my dividers. I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the box below. I may be away for a couple of weeks. I am traveling for the holidays. So if I do not see you guys in a couple weeks, I wish you all a very happy holidays, a happy new year, and I will be back very soon to show you a 2018 setup. So stay tuned to the channel for that in the future. And God bless you all during this holiday season. Hope you have a great couple weeks, guys.